Welcome to Entrepreneur State of Mind. I'm your host, Dr. Dale Caldwell, and I have someone that I've gotten to know very, very well over the years, Andrew Frazier. Andrew, welcome. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, Dale. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and Andrew does a lot of things, but Small Business Pro University is something that is really starting to kind of take the world by storm to really help entrepreneurs. So before we get into that, I always like the origin stories. So where were you born, where did you grow up, and how you end up where you are now?
Okay, well, born in Pittsburgh, PA, home of the Steelers, and
Steeler fan.
Really my first business was in fourth grade. Actually, my brother and I ended up having a paper route, and we did that for 5 years, 7 days a week.
Wow.
And it seems like, it's just a paper route, but you do every single aspect of business. You buy the papers, you sell the papers, you get new customers, you collect money, and really prepares you for a lot of things in business and in life.
So you had that entrepreneur state of mind really early on, and so many people had the paper route, and you're right, because it teaches you about business. Was that just a natural inclination, or you just said, we want to make money, or what drove you to sign up for a paper route?
Probably the money part.
Yeah. That doesn't hurt.
We weren't rich growing up,
Right.
and it definitely helped being able to have your own money.
Excellent. Okay, so from there, then you went to high school in Pittsburgh High, or what?
I went to Peabody High School
Okay.
in the city of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Peabody Highlanders,
Okay.
and graduated there and went to college, studied mechanical engineering at MIT.
Mechanical engineering at MIT, and he says that so subtly, but Andrew knows technology and numbers and software and other things, and so again, I've just admired you with all the ways you've been able to use your kind of technology background with matching it with people. And so you did that. What was your first job out of school?
Well, I got a Navy ROTC scholarship.
Okay.
So after graduation, actually the same day as graduation, I was commissioned as a naval officer.
Wow.
And started my service. So it was great experience, learned a lot, and got a chance to see the business side of things. I ran all the business functions for a ship.
Interesting. And so where were you deployed? Where?
We were out of Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we shifted to Philadelphia and then Norfolk.
Okay.
And really got a chance to, had a chance to do a lot of the traditional things. Went across the equator, so we had the and then went to the Panama Canal and saw a lot of different places, which was amazing, especially at that age.
Interesting. And so people really don't understand. So many people have gotten a great global education from the military. Now, I'm a big tennis guy, so Newport has the International Tennis Hall of Fame that I've done some projects with, and the mansions. So did you have time on furlough to see some of the breakers and the other mansions? And
yeah, I had a chance to check things out because when I was there, I was a geo bachelor, so I lived on the ship.
Okay.
So, whenever I could get off the ship and do other stuff, I tried to do that. So I got to see the area, and really beautiful up there, but freezing cold in the winter.
Yeah, very cold, and very expensive. I mean, it is old money. That's the definition of old money. So after that, that's when you went to MIT after that, or?
Well, before that.
Oh, before that. Okay.
And then graduated.
Okay. And then what did you do right after the military?
Went and worked for a private company.
Okay.
In general management and operations, and really got a great experience, and decided that rather than working in the field of engineering, I liked business.
Yeah.
Because it was solving problems the same way as engineering, but shorter problems, and you could actually see the resolution and continue to build upon what you're doing.
Right.
So it was pretty exciting.
And so after that, now you worked at the Executive Leadership Council.
Yes.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that, because a lot of people don't know about that, and that is a very influential organization.
Okay. Well, after the last position, I went and got my MBA in finance from NYU.
Okay.
And worked as an executive at New York Life for 7 years.
Okay.
From there, I left and had an opportunity to be the chief operating officer of the Executive Leadership Council, which is really a trade organization for the top African Americans in corporate America. So if you're within 3 levels of the CEO, pretty much, you could be eligible for membership, and really supporting their success and diversity within organizations, helping prepare the next generation, and that's how I got involved with ELC in the beginning, several years before that.
And the ELC, the Executive Leadership Council, so these are CEOs and C-suite individuals who are running every major corporation, in America. And so that experience really gave you a connection to the senior leadership to really understand the good, bad, and the ugly of that. And so now, how did you transfer that into kind of this focus on entrepreneurship and small business?
Well, really, business is business to a certain extent, but it's really understanding the transition from a startup to working in your business, to working on your business, to working on the future of your business, to finally scaling your business.
Right.
And as a business owner, you have to evolve.
Right.
And the good part was I had a chance to work in every level of an organization, where very few people get to do that in their career. So I bring that perspective to working with entrepreneurs and business owners, really help them to figure out how to move forward and understand how their role has to change and how they need to build a structure beneath them, because many of them have never done that and have never even seen that. So their perspective on how to do that, it really helps them to be able to figure out how to grow their businesses.
Well, there's a fundamental lesson that you've learned with large and small corporations. I have a number of clients who are Fortune 500 companies who were entrepreneurial organizations, but are trying to transition into publicly traded companies and are having difficulty because they're not letting go of the entrepreneurship side to really become a business. And so you see that at the smaller level too. There's a certain style of leadership that you have to really grow a startup, versus a scaling organization, right?
Yes.
And that's what you really have become an expert on to really work on.
Yes.
So after that, and I think it's important because for the audience, I want them to understand, because many of them are sitting where you are, say, well, I'd love to consult or have my own business. What is the path to this? And so right after that, when did you start really advising the small businesses?
Really, when I left the Executive Leadership Council, I worked on actually buying a business as well as consulting and coaching with entrepreneurs and business owners. So, learned a lot through the process of buying a business, but made several offers, but just never was able to close for different reasons. But seeing so many different businesses and then working with so many different business owners, you start to see patterns in terms of their challenges, in terms of what works and what doesn't work, and how your role as a business owner, how it changes and how you evolve over time.
Well, I really want to get into, you've put together some just amazing publications, and obviously you have your online entrepreneurial platform. But as you look at things, I like to start, at 50,000 feet. Entrepreneurship is so important to America, family businesses and entrepreneurship. Having seen the biggest companies in the United States or in the world, and why don't you think we value entrepreneurship more than we do in society? Any thoughts on why is it that we don't recognize that these are the backbone of this country?
Well, I think part of it is, as an entrepreneur, business owner, you're so busy that you're sort of in your business so much, so you don't get the visibility. And then it's a struggle. Sometimes you're doing well, sometimes you're not doing well. And so, you don't have the ability to, really be visible, spend time lobbying like big businesses do. A lot of times they'll invest in their local communities, but, not really investing on a larger scale, either due to lack of funds or time or connections. So, I think that a lot of things, politics is different than business. And they really can't or haven't really been in that arena on any type of scale because there's just so many of them and they don't have the ability, haven't come together or into organizations. So, the work that you're doing is so important because, like you said, they are the backbone of America. They don't really get into the political realm nearly as much as as they could
Right.
or should, and really just letting people know about how valuable it is, how buying from a small business doesn't just give you your product or service, but it supports your community.
Yeah.
And, it helps provide jobs because,
Exactly.
the net, most people work for small businesses,
Right.
and small businesses continue to hire even during the pandemic.
And it's hard. And, that's part of the thing that frustrates me is that politicians don't often know how hard it is to run a business. They think you're a multi-million-dollar business, you have money to burn. No. And I often said, I've said it a few times on the show, if every politician in America had to have made payroll, this would be a very different country because they would understand people not sleeping and people borrowing from Peter to pay Paul so they could pay their employees before they get paid. That's entrepreneurship. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the resources you've developed. I really love the resources that you've done. So what do you have here? What are some of the books that you've put together?
Okay, well, my first book is Running Your Small Business Like a Pro. And really, that took me 5 years to write. It was, your first book, as you know, is the hardest one.
Right, exactly. Let me take a...
But it really took the work of working with 500 plus business owners.
So 500, wow, that's
great. Looked at the patterns that I've seen and really broke down the things that they needed to know in terms of, how did they get where they are now? What's their most important job as a business owner? What is their greatest fear? And then, is it your employees or are you crazy? Because, definitely managing people is a challenge for small businesses, and just, important things about financing and retirement, all those things that you need to know as a business owner, but where would you have learned them? Who's teaching you that? So many business owners don't know those things.
Right, and so as we look at the chapters in the book, have you broken it down in a particular way to kind of, I love the questions you ask. How did I get here? What is my most important job? What is my greatest fear? Where will I find the money? So these are questions you probably have heard over and over and over again from your clients.
Yes, I mean, it's based on what I do coaching, consulting on. Every chapter I've got examples, a couple examples of each. And really what that allows you to do is, see how that could work for your business.
Right.
One of the top examples is understanding your target market, where, one of my clients, they wanted to grow and sell more, and actually, with the target market they thought was women. Right. But actually it ended up being men buying gifts for their women.
And that's a great lesson. We're going to take a break now, for a commercial break, but we're going to come back and I want to pick that up. That oftentimes we don't know the market as well as we think we do.
Yes.
Well, we're going to take a break and we'll be back to Entrepreneur State of Mind in a few minutes.
I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it. Hip hip hop.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hip hip hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches, solid rock, and everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey. Plan your New Jersey trip at visitnj.org. Waves of fun. Nights of excitement. And a trail of memories. Now that's New Jersey.
Welcome back to Entrepreneur State of Mind. I'm your host, Dr. Dale Caldwell, with Andrew Frazier of Small Business Pro University. We were just talking about your book, Running Your Small Business Like a Pro. And I really like this because, small business folks are professionals just like athletes are. And the way you treat them as professionals is very good. And we were just hearing a story about one of your clients who thought their market was women, their target market was women, but in fact it was men who bought gifts for women. And so what are some of the tricks for a small business out there that's trying to identify their target market? What are some of the things they need to do?
Okay, well, one of the most important things is understanding what a target market is.
Right,
And
okay.
what I found, most business owners don't even know what a target market is. So how can you do something effective if you don't even know what you're doing?
Right, right.
So,
What is a target market? What would you tell a business
So
owner?
really, it's the people who are most likely to buy your product or service. That's the first half.
Right, okay.
But the second half is most important, is that you have the time, money, and resources to market to effectively.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the target market's people you're actively going after. It's not everybody who may buy your product.
Right, okay.
And
Okay.
many times, the smaller your target market, the better, which is counterintuitive.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. So I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. We talk to a lot of folks, and you want to think, okay, well, I can speak on this, I can speak on that, I can speak on, but the people who are successful who really focus. It really is counterintuitive because you think if I have more options, people are going to buy more, but they really buy more if you're really, really focused.
Yes.
And why is that? Is it because you just become really good at that, or what is that? Why does that work?
Well, there's a few things. One is your brand.
Right. Right.
It's hard for people to remember you if you do everything.
Right.
A lot of times you get business through referrals. So they're like, that's the pizza guy.
Right.
So if you make pizza, hamburgers, all that stuff, then you're competing with all those places.
Right.
But, if people can specifically understand who you are and what you're doing, and people have short attention spans. So you've got 5 or 10 seconds. So if you tell them 5 or 10 things,
Right. They're lost.
Yeah, they're not going to remember. So, your brand, having people understand what you do, remember what you do, is key. And then you can do it better than everyone else.
Right.
Because you can't be an expert at 20 things.
Right.
People want someone who's an expert at what they need at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, especially as a small business, you have to focus a lot.
Right.
As you grow, you can widen your scope, but early on, through setting up your business to moving it forward until you get to the scaling phase, you really are trying to focus more closely rather than expand. what you're doing.
Well, tell me, you have 2 other publications. So what are those? What are those books?
Okay, well, the first book, people really liked and found it valuable, but to get more out of it, I put together a workbook.
Okay,
So,
nice, okay.
One of the things we talk about is your greatest fear as a business owner,
Right.
which is numbers and analysis. So in the book, we talk about your financials, your financial statements, what you should look for, but just reading about it versus doing exercises on it, that really helps you to understand it better. We also have the 60-second commercial format.
Right.
And
Oh, this
in
is great.
here,
Some real good exercises, yeah.
you can create
Very
your own.
interesting.
So it allows you to really take what you read about and actually employ it for you and for your business.
Excellent. And then the final book is...
Yeah, this is my most recent. It's not even available yet.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
The Masterpreneur Playbook.
Okay.
And really, we talked about is there's 5 steps
Yeah.
to growing your business.
Yeah.
And, really laying out what those steps are, but not only what the steps are, how do you transition through them?
Well, walk us through those steps again. So that's really important because people don't think of it, and they need structure. People really need structure. So so what are the 5 steps?
Okay, well, first, you're really working on the concept of your business.
Okay.
How do you start a business that can be viable?
Right.
And
But you could even be in the business and be working on the concept of your business.
a lot of times you are.
Yeah.
There's overlap between the steps.
Yeah.
And each stage, you have certain things. There's a certain challenge that you have to overcome.
Right.
There's a certain goal you have to achieve.
Right.
There's a certain role you have as a business owner.
Right.
There's a certain structure that you need to have within your business to support that role and move into the next role. So each step, I lay out what those things are.
Wonderful.
Because most business owners get stuck somewhere.
Right.
And it's because they don't really know what the next step is or how to do the step that they're currently on. So this lays out those things.
So working on the concept of your business, next, working in your business.
Yes.
So I love that. So working, you're working on your business, but you're working in your business. What's the difference?
Really, working in the business is getting your business started, and your goal is really to create a viable market for your product or service. Right. So you have to, as you're looking for your target market, you're going to try different things.
Right.
And, working in your business, you're figuring out, where the right spot is that you can grow your business, where your value proposition is, who values it the most, and, being able to sort of get to a point where you're making some money and your business is viable.
Right, and then you're working on the future of your business. Once you've done that, mastered that, then you're...
Well, actually, you start working on your business from there.
Well, I'm sorry, we're working on your business,
So-
right, working on your business.
Yeah.
So you're in your business and then on your business. Okay.
Right. And that's really, you have a viable business,
Right.
but now you have to optimize it. You have to create processes and procedures. You have to set the structure so that you can grow.
Right.
Because a lot of businesses go out of business because they end up growing too fast because they don't have the structure, they don't have the team,
Right.
they don't have what's in place to be able to grow successfully.
Right. Okay, then on the future of your business.
On the future of your business, once you have a business that's viable, you optimize that business, then you have to work on growing your business. But you have to plan.
Right.
So
Right.
It's really about planning, creating projections, really developing a strategic plan, just really setting in place, and you're focused on the future.
Right. And then scaling, working on scaling your business.
Right. So once you're working on the future and you have your strategic plan and your plan in place, you have to implement it successfully.
Right.
Strategy's important, but it's not sufficient, as Terry Trevick says.
Yeah.
And so implementation, that's a whole different skill. Each one of those has a key skill that you have to have as the business owner. You have to evolve and continually learn, or you're going to get stuck. You can only go as far as you're prepared to take your business.
And I love the way you just lay it out so wonderfully. So now you've developed an online system. So it's not just enough to read the book and meet with you, but so talk about the Small Business Pro University.
Okay. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, there's so many things you need to know as a business owner that you can't possibly know them all.
Right.
So, I've laid out some of the things there, but I don't know everything. So, with the university, it allows, us to provide even more perspective and expertise. We've got over 50 courses now. We've got over 20 instructors who have really over 1,000 years of business experience.
Wow.
So in all different fields.
So 50 courses, 20 instructors, 1,000 years of experience on that. And just, and we'll go over it again. The website, how do people access this? How do they get a chance to look at it if the audience wants to say, that sounds interesting, I want that?
It's at www.sbprou.com.
sbprou.com. sbprou, perfect. And so you take people through at their own pace, kind of this entrepreneur training?
Yeah, it's on demand,
Right.
asynchronous learning,
Yeah.
and really you have the ability to focus on areas where you're working on at the time. So if you're looking for financing, you can go into the financing learning
Right,
area.
right.
If you're looking to market and sell better, there's plenty of courses on marketing and selling by different people because having different perspectives, each industry is different, each business is different. But what I like to do is take from all that I've learned and figure out what is the optimal strategy for your business going forward.
Well, we're believe it or not. I mean, this is, I could talk to you for hours. We're almost at the end of the session, but I think it's important for people to understand that it's not an excuse anymore to say, I don't have time to meet with you. I don't have time to read your books. I'm an entrepreneur. Now they can go online at their own leisure, and instead of watching Netflix, they can actually start to do this and grow their business and make a lot more money. So again, if they want to see it, give the website.
www.sbprou.com is where you can access the university as well as learn about other tools and resources that can help you as a business owner.
Excellent. Well, Andrew, and again, I've known Andrew for years. He is one of the best consultants that I know, working with businesses of all sizes. So, Andrew, again, thank you so much.
Thanks,
This
Dale.
has been great.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you all for watching Entrepreneur State of Mind, and please share this show with others. There's a lot of valuable information. So take care, and we will see you next time.
Excellent.